Willie Pless and the hard-hitting Edmonton Eskimos get set to attack the Hamilton Ticats. Also ahead, the Homeboys break bird with a very special guest. The Edmonton Eskimos tell us who they think is the CFL's biggest complainer. And John and Leaf tackle expansion on the 55-yard line.
Week 14 of the CFL season brings us to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton for this edition of the CFL Report. In just over a half hour, the Eskimos will take on the Ticats on a crisp fall evening in northern Alberta. Very little wind, and the natural surface here is dry. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the CFL Report. I'm Gord Miller. The news is good for the Edmonton Eskimos. Tracy Ham is back to start at quarterback in tonight's game, and Blake Marshall is on the verge of tying and perhaps setting a CFL record. He's one off the league mark for touchdowns in a season. In Hamilton, the questions are familiar ones. They center on quarterbacking, and Hamilton will no doubt need a great performance from its pivot to beat the Eskimos tonight.
Much of the BC Lions' success can be attributed to quarterback Doug Flutie. The Edmonton Eskimos are a different team without Tracy Ham. With Kent Austin calling the signals, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are Grey Cup contenders. In today's high-scoring, wide-open game, the quarterback is the leader, and his play usually reflects the team's success. In Hamilton this season, the biggest problem has been the quarterbacking. In Hamilton's only win against Toronto, Mike Kerrigan looked like a world beater throwing for 383 yards. But outside of that game, Kerrigan has struggled and has completed less than 50% of his passes. Todd Dillon has shared the QB duties with Kerrigan for most of the season, and he's also completed fewer than 50% of his passes. Earlier this season, the Tiger Cats signed Donald McPherson from the NFL, who had a great college career with Syracuse. Last week against the Lions, McPherson made his debut and was just 2 for 8 for 37 yards. So where does the future lie for Hamilton quarterbacks? If given the proper time to develop, is McPherson the answer? Will Kerrigan regain his form? Or will Todd Dillon become the Tiger Cats' #1 QB?
And joining us now on the CFL Report to talk about his quarterbacks is Hamilton head coach John Gregory. John, Todd Dillon gets the call tonight against the Eskimos. Why?
Well, I've wanted to get a good look at all the quarterbacks, and I started Mike for 3 games, and Todd started 2 ball games, played very, very well last week, and we'll give him another shot tonight. I think that all of them have certain qualities and characteristics, and I want to have a very good judgment of them when the season's over.
What does he have to do well tonight to beat Edmonton?
Well, I think the biggest thing we have to do is get first downs. I think that moving the ball is very, very important to keep their offense off the field. They have a very explosive offense, and so we just got to get some field position with our offense.
You've got a young player a lot of people are talking about in Don McPherson, the rookie quarterback. What's his future?
Well, I think Don's an exciting young player, and he's coming along very well, and I had made a decision last week and had made a decision on Tuesday to put him in at quarterback in the start of the second quarter, and I had told our quarterbacks that, and our coaching staff that's what we were going to do. Then I got a little bit of cold feet. Todd was playing so well, but actually it was the thing to do. We need to get a look at Don in non-pressure situations, and he can run. He's a very bright young man, and I think he has a very bright future.
John, thanks very much, and good luck tonight.
You bet. Thank you.
John Gregory, the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. For more on tonight's game, let's hear from John Wells and Leif Pedersen.
All right, Gord, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are 1-12. Their chances of making the playoffs are slim and none. Slim might have just left town. Their chances of winning here tonight are not outstanding either, but they are an improving football team.
Yes, they are. Listen, mathematically, they still have a chance for the playoffs. I don't think you could find anybody in Canada that would bet on it, but they are still alive, and they are an improving football team. In fact, they could have won their last 3 games, and as I talked to some of the Edmonton players tonight, guys like Danny Bass, you know, they didn't give me the old cliche, wow, we can't take them lightly. They said, honestly, this is a physical football team. Their record certainly doesn't indicate that, but we are in for a battle tonight, and there's a lot of young guys trying to impress a new head coach.
Yeah, John Gregory has had an impact on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll get a closer look at that coming up a little later on here at Commonwealth.
All right, thanks very much, gentlemen. It's a homecoming tonight for Miles Gurrell, who grew up in the city of Edmonton, even came to Edmonton Eskimo games as a young man. And now this man, who's played for 4 different CFL teams, faces the Eskimos.
Hamilton Tiger Cat offensive lineman Miles Gurrell is one of the biggest and best tackles in the CFL. This 14-year veteran has been an Eastern Division All-Star 5 times and a CFL All-Star once. He spends his active offseason in Pointe Claire, a quiet suburb just outside Montreal.
I like to work with my hands. I like building things. I like all sorts of sports. I like to ski. I like to do anything that's outside. You know, it's just lived all my life playing football, and doing anything outside in the wintertime is a lot of fun. And it's too cold to be outside. You know, and building furniture and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
TSN Hits of the Week are brought to you by the new Subaru SVX. Test drive one at a Subaru dealer today. Our hits start in Hamilton, where Gary Wilkerson pops BC running back John Volpe. Wilkerson's hit is so hard it knocks his helmet off. The Tiger Cat secondary must have been fired up. How about Bobby Dawson on Matt Clark? But the biggest hit in Hamilton comes from the goalpost. Watch the Ticat mascot lose control. Hey, buddy, get off the field, will you? But the hardest hitting game was in Regina. Just ask Lucius Floyd. First Walter Ballard, and then Curtis Johnson on this hit. But it was a real rough night for quarterback Gil Renfro. Hit after hit, constantly punished by the Saskatchewan defense. The hit parade was led by number 71, Bobby Jurison, who's the first to Renfro in this play. And just when it looks like Renfro would escape the pocket, in comes James King, who also gets in on the act. But the hit of the week comes from Bobby Jurison. Watch this collision. He walks around Lloyd Fairbanks, giving him a direct path to the Calgary QB. Bobby Jurison's hit not only knocks the ball loose, it also becomes the TSN Hit of the Week. A look at the league's leading rushers shows Robert Mims still on top, with Reggie Barnes in second after passing the 1,000-yard mark last week against Toronto. BC's John Volpe and Edmonton's Reggie Taylor round off the top 4.
And the big man, Miles Gurrell, gets set to take on the Edmonton Eskimos. And when the CFL report returns, the Jays' JOE is on the JOB. Jay Carter joins the Homeboys. Coming up next.
Stay tuned for the TSN turning point following the game.
It's trivia time, and here's our first clue. Always the toughest one. Which former CFL great returned punts and kicks for the Seattle Seahawks back in 1978?
Well, Joe Carter's had some tough assignments at Skydome. Of course, he delivered the game-winning hit for the Blue Jays as they clinched the American League East pennant. But earlier that week, the Jays' JOE dropped in on the Homeboys.
Hey, man, we started. Oh, hey, Jerome, off the phone, man. We started. Show us on. The country is watching the Jays play their sport. And that's right, you guessed it, another hard-hitting, cold-kicking, funky edition of the Homeboys Report. Live in the Skydome.
Live, no jive. And we here with everybody's MVP. The man that's hitting the ball like there's no tomorrow. You know who he is. He needs no introduction.
Smoking.
Mr. Joe Carter, welcome to the Homeboys Report.
Welcome to the Homeboys,
How
Joe.
y'all doing?
Pull up that recliner right there and get comfy here.
Home.
Just don't
All
get
right.
in bed, miss.
Box of Yardbird.
Oh, yes. We want everybody to feel comfortable when they hit the Homeboys, you know?
All right.
Want you to feel at home. Listen, Joe, we got a couple questions, man. We were wondering, what's the general feeling of the Jays here going down the stretch drive for the pennant run?
Hey, 4.5 up, 6 games to play. We got 3 games here in the beautiful Sky Dome. Hopefully by Wednesday we'll be partying back going to Minnesota.
You got it, Canadian. Things looking good for the home team
Real
right
good,
about now.
but just to ensure things, the Homeboys have a few tips for Joe and the boys to help them down the stretch.
Pump it all the way up.
Now show them to take a base technique. Stand in front of the plate now. Show them to take a base technique. Hey man, I tell you what, show them to take a base technique. Now Joe, when you really need to run on base,
All right.
get the ball right here, stand right over the plate. Pitcher should hit. Take your base. Take your base technique.
Yeah, but
sometimes I guess.
But that's why they have ambulances, huh?
Yeah.
They come carry your weight.
You got 25 minutes over there. Once you make sure everything is chilly, then you get your lead.
That's called a lead, Joe.
Hey, but you crease.
It's a lead.
And you watch, keep your eye on the pitch.
Try to steal the base, right?
Because they try to be slick, and you want to
Steal the base, huh?
be able to get back. And then once you know you got them all shook up, you can put your moves on them, you know?
Then you walk away like this, hey, and you steal the base.
Hey! He catching on! He catching on!
So we gave you some helpful tips on the run for
I could
pennant.
definitely use a 411. We
Yeah.
need it right now, baby.
And Joe,
Appreciate it.
we'd like to thank you for being on the show. Live on Homie Vision and Things, giving us a little bit of your time.
Anything to help the homies out, because, hey, homie can definitely play that.
Oh, we know that. You got 100 RBIs to prove that.
Word.
I'm saying.
But Joe, you know what?
What's that?
The Boston Red Sox can't do it. The Detroit Tigers blew it.
The New York Yankees.
Stick a fork in them.
They done.
Only the Blue Jays, with the help of the Homeboys, of course, can pump you up and put a smile on your face.
While we clinch the pennant race. Yeah.
Until next time,
Peace.
love.
And happiness.
Save the planet.
Hey man, let's get at some of these
Peace in the
birds,
Middle
man.
East.
Yardbird.
Yeah, man. Let's get at
Hey, but one piece, man. Split it up, man. Hold.
Yo, homie.
Hey, guess first. Guess first.
Guess who get it?
In Calgary this week, the green light for CFL expansion. I think it's a good idea. I think it's time. It's time to stop patching up this league with Band-Aids and get on with business and progress, not regress.
Well, I think it's true. I mean, expansion to me, we've talked about this for a month now. I mean, yes, we have to try it. But you know what? The only thing is, I mean, all they did was really get the governors together, the expansion committee together and say, okay, we're going to expand. I mean, nothing earth-shattering came out of the meeting Wednesday. I mean, they still have to go through the process now of having a Portland, let's say, or a Detroit file a formal application. Is there going to be a franchise fee? So listen, I mean, this is nice. A lot of rhetoric took place this
Yeah, but
week.
I think Portland is in.
Well, hey, they may be in, but no application has been made. No franchise fee has been determined. Nothing's been determined about import ratio. I mean, hey, folks, we are a long way from getting this expansion thing settled. Don't think that this week cleared it up. Maybe got the wheels slightly in motion.
So you want to settle the Ottawa Rough Rider situation before you expand this league?
What a joke this is. You know, Jim Van Horn earlier tonight on Sports Desk broke the story that Lonnie Gleiberman, a Detroit businessman, possibly by tomorrow or Monday, will purchase the Ottawa Rough Riders and keep them in Ottawa. I mean, are we all sheep? Every 2 weeks when the heat is on Ottawa, the heat's on the commissioner to sell the club, he says, we have a potential buyer ready for tomorrow. I mean, we are like sheep following this stuff. I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, I think this might be close, too.
Oh, hey, I got some great deals I want to show you after this show. I bought some. Time now for the vintage wine section of the program. Yes, it's time to hear about those who protest too much on the CFL's best, the best whiners.
Football is an emotional game, so it's not hard for players to get a little upset. Some keep their emotions hidden. Others will complain. We asked the Edmonton Eskimos to tell us who they thought was the league's best complainer.
Oh, that's easy for me. It's got to be my road trip room dog, Blake Dermott. you have to put away the crystal when he gets worked up about something, because things start shattering.
I can't really say who really complained, because I don't really know who's complaining now. But on my team, I said Blake Dermott.
Well, there seems to be consensus growing amongst the Eskimos, but a good friend of mine and teammate Blake Dermott seems to have a serious raise in octaves when the appropriate situation is thrust to him.
I know there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league who like to work the referees, and I don't think anybody does it better than probably Kent Austin. He likes getting on them early and getting them to work for him to his advantage, and that's good. It's smart. I wouldn't say he whines or complains too much, but he knows how to work the officials.
Oh, I could be in that category. I'm always complaining to the refs that they're holding me, and I'm always complaining to my quarterbacks that I'm open. So
it's got to be Mike Campbell from Toronto. He's always being held, and then he get a touchdown this weekend. He might stop complaining now that he scored. See, I can say that we don't play Toronto until next year. So I'll see you next year, Mike.
Besides being good at football, Hamilton safety Todd Wiseman is a scratch golfer, which may explain why he looks up to a golfer and not a football player.
I have to pick somebody like a Jack Nicklaus, not only because I like golf, but just because he's the type of fellow who's dominated a sport for a long period of time, and he's very persistent and concentrates well on the course, and he has a lot of qualities that I like to follow in myself.
And high back on the CFL Report, getting bundled up and getting set to watch some football. The Eskimos and Ticats coming up not long from now. And when we come back, trickery, debauchery, and magic on the prairie.
Here's our second trivia clue, a little easier. In 1979, he joined the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and in 1984, he led the league in punt returns with 1,108 yards. He was selected the Ticats' most outstanding player.
Welcome back to Edmonton, where it's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas. A chill is in the air, and that can mean only one thing. The playoff races are on, and if you were counting out the Saskatchewan Roughriders, don't do it just yet.
Don't count Kent Austin and the Saskatchewan Roughriders out of a playoff spot quite yet. Austin and the Riders are 4-2 in their last 6 games, and just 6 points out of a playoff spot as we look at the West standings. The Roughriders trailed the Eskimos and Lions. Calgary remains on top with 18 points. Saskatchewan is at Ottawa on Sunday to play the Eastern Riders at Lansdowne Park, while the BC Lions travel to Calgary to play the Stampeders. A team that received some bad news this week. The Stamps have lost linebacker Matt Finley for the rest of the season with torn ligaments. On a positive note, Danny Barrett is recovering from a finger injury and should be ready to return to the lineup in about 3 weeks. In the East, Toronto is a 4-point cushion over Winnipeg. Those two teams meet Saturday night at Skydome. Third place Ottawa has a healthy lead over the last place Tiger Cats. The Argonauts received some good news this week. Running back Mike Clemens will return to the lineup after missing 5 games with a knee injury. Also coming back to the lineup is BC's Ray Alexander, who missed last week's game with an ankle injury. A trade in the CFL this week saw Calgary send QB Terrence Jones to Ottawa for future considerations. Jones walked out of the Calgary camp last month. He was unhappy with his playing time. He was a highly touted college QB at Tulane University, but Jones has yet to prove himself in the CFL. Speaking of quarterbacks, maybe teams should start looking at Saskatchewan punter Mike Lezecki. On this fake punt, Lezecki threw a strike to Jeff Treflin. And finally, what's the best way to beat pursuit? The slip method, obviously. Argonaut Darryl Clack demonstrates this against Ottawa's Glenn Kulka. We're over 2/3 the way through the season, so we thought we'd go to Toronto and ask Argo fans who they thought would win the Grey Cup.
Well, I think the Argos will win it. I think they got the best pass offense. I think they'll beat Edmonton in the finals.
The Ottawa Rough Riders, because I said so.
Definitely the Argos. Why? Just because they're Toronto. I'm from Toronto. I love Toronto. I think Argos are going to win. Rocket is incredible. He's the fastest runner there is. And they're Toronto. Let's go for Toronto.
Well, I would say, being from British Columbia, that the BC Lions will win. I think Doug Flutie is probably one of the cleverest, smartest quarterbacks. I know he's small in size, but he's able to do some magical things with that ball and with his backs. So I think that probably it'll be a BC Toronto Argonauts final, but I think I'd give the nod to BC.
They do love their Eskimos here in Edmonton. They're getting set to watch them take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll be back with more on the CFL Report in just a moment, live on TSN.
Our play of the week comes from the Hamilton BC game, and once again it's provided by Mr. Magic. Quarterback Doug Flutie continues to prove he's the best quarterback in the league on this pitch to Chris Skinner. It is definitely worth another look. Doug Flutie, as he so often does, breaks out of the pocket. It looks like he's going to run. He fakes a pitch, runs again, and then finally tosses it off to Skinner, who takes it in the remaining 20 yards for the touchdown. Doug Flutie and Chris Skinner hook up for the TSN Play of the Week. Our third and final trivia clue. After 7 seasons with Hamilton, he was released in 1986. He was a running back and wore number 24. The answer is Rufus Crawford.
Quite often in a football game, the spotlight will shine, and it's time for the game to be won or lost. And certain players always seem to rise to the occasion. Rufus Crawford was one of those players. A unique name for a unique football player. Rufus Crawford truly was one of a kind. His best years were spent with the Hamilton Tiger Cats from 1979 to 1985. His best season was 1984, when he was named the Eastern Division's most outstanding player. In that season, he set a CFL record with 2,896 combined yards.
I always had 3 things in mind when I played, and the very first one was that to go out and help my team win in every aspect that I could, and to be the best football player that I could be for myself. And the third one was, to me, was probably one of the most important ones, is to go out and entertain and excite people. So when they walk out of that stadium, they say, how did he do that? You see that hit Rufus took? You see that move that he made? You see, that is what brings people back to the stadium, whether you win or lose. The excitement that you put on the field, you see. And I think we've been able to do that in Hamilton during the years that we played.
He retired in 1985 and went straight into acting. He hasn't become the superstar he was in football, but he's had his moments, like the time he got shot on the Cops and Robbers show, Night Heat. Last year, Crawford became an author, releasing his autobiography entitled, appropriately enough, Rufus Baby, A Dream to Defeat the Odds.
I think it has taught me a lot about myself and some of my strong points and my weakness, because in writing a book, it's almost like being an actor. You got to be very vulnerable, and you have to be able to accept that vulnerability, to be able to show to people and to be able to put it on paper.
He's had his success in other fields, but Crawford will be remembered first and foremost as a football player.
I got released in 86, and after that, I went to a Tiger football game. It was maybe the 3rd or 4th game of the season. And at that time, I went to the game, and I was sitting there, and this little kid was about 3 rows from me, and I was sitting at the top of the stadium. And I had on a hat and shades, so wouldn't nobody recognize me. And the little kid came up to me and says, I know you. I said, you're Rufus, baby, huh? And I said, yes, but don't tell nobody. About 5 minutes before the game was over with, I got up with some friends of mine, and I started walking down the stadium. And this little kid, when I got to him, he stood up, and he started clapping his hands, saying, Rufus, baby, and everybody in the stands and everyone in the stadium stood up all the way around. and they were chanting Rufus Baby, Rufus Baby. That's probably one of the most memorable moments of football.
More memorable moments in the making. The Hamilton Tiger Cats take on the Edmonton Eskimos. It's coming up next. Local blackouts are in effect, so please check your local listings and enjoy the game.